Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at the short story Hurst of Hurstcote, which is a 12-page short story. And this from the Dead collection by Edith Nesbit. It's more than 100 years old that we've been doing a deep dive into for you as a result. It's another in the genre of young love that goes astray that has happened. Our point of view character is best friends to a couple, and that couple will start to go in some dark directions. His best friend, and he's the only friend of this person. This person is definitely very intelligent. He's more involved in things like black magic, and that publishes things on black magic and so forth. He has a lot of women that are attracted to him because of his money and his wealth that he has and so forth, but not a lot of friends that are men in college. So this guy, our point of view character, is the only friend. Then about 2 pages into the 12-page short story, things start to fall in love. Well, he meets a woman and may fall in love, and will both be changed forever as a result. And that's the short. That's the sort of the key takeaway from this story. Again, I keep my reviews spoiler free, so I've only told you what's happened in the first couple of pages for you folks for this short story. I knocked it out in about 20 pages earlier today. It was pretty fast. I knocked it out. This is online because it's before the copyright date, because this is more than 100 years old. This is online, although you can. So I'll link you to both the online copy and to this. If you're interested in just checking it out and reading it in print, like I do, or do you just want it for your library, even if you did read it online, or to loan it out to friends and that sort of thing. But there's a lot of benefits to it. So I'll go ahead and leave you to the synopsis. Now let's do my review. I liked it. It was definitely fun. I enjoyed where it went in the last few pages, although it didn't have like a surprise ending or something like that, like a lot of horror stories tend to have. The ending was okay, but it wasn't great or anything, or go into an interesting place that I didn't see coming. So I definitely like that. It definitely kept me interesting up until about 4 or 5 pages into it from the end, and then what I predicted, and I liked what happened there. But then beyond that, it was just normal stuff. So I liked it. It's probably more of like a 7 out of 10, maybe a 7.1 or 7.2. So let's say 7 plus out of 10. It was well written. It was well regarded. Edith Nesbit was a popular author during the pulp era, and she published more than 60 novels, most of which were children's fantasies. We read one for you recently and did a review for you for that. And then I thought maybe I would be picking up a bunch more and reading like a novel like every few days. But while I enjoyed it and it was worth, and I'm glad I read it, it just wasn't like a launching point for my love of Edith Nesbit novels, if that makes sense, and doing a deeper dive into them. So, but I still did it and enjoyed it. She published a lot of collections of horror stuff for adults. One of which I read when I was in junior high, Man Size in Marble, from a collection I got over Christmas from one of my relatives used. That is still my favorite short story that I've read by her. I also did a couple recently, a couple of horror collections published by the same person, and I knocked that out for you folks. I also knocked out a short story called John Charrington's Wedding, which is also in this one, a year or two ago, from a 100 Ghost Stories collection that I read a bunch of things by authors that I was already familiar with. And this theme of young love that goes astray is definitely a key concept that happens in a lot of her short stories in the horror genre. It's her sort of regular mounting issues that happen with the things. It's kind of like M.R. James, horror writers. His antiquarian that's wealthy, and so he reads a lot. And he's very much an erudite person who reads a lot of darker things and becomes succumbed by the darkness. Or H.P. Lovecraft's Necronomicon and Cthulhu Mythos story elements that repeat from story to story to story. This is sort of her deep dive into that, right? The issues of young love and how they lead us astray into some dark and horror-laden places. Her stuff really isn't gothic in nature. It's for example, the previous short story certainly wasn't. It's surprise ending and horror aspects, and its 3 pages were pretty short. But anyway, there you go. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Have you read this short story? If so, what did you think of it? Let's talk about the comments below. If you're talking about spoilers, or if you agree or disagree with my 7+ out of 10, let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, why not hit that subscribe button? There's going to be a lot more of these to follow. And then finally, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing and watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.